Now, following the recent Republic's investigative report into the sales of former President Jammeh's forfeited assets, officials of Sankajula Holdings, whose company possessed the aircraft mentioned in the report, have told Eyeafrica TV about their involvement in the possession procedure. Gambians have been demanding for clarity and accountability into the sales of Jammeh's assets. But according to the officials, the aircrafts were bought by Sankajula Holdings company instead of Momodou Dabo, as initially reported. Let's have more details of that in this report.
These aircrafts, purchased in 2017 by Sankajula Holdings company, bearing the name Republic of the Gambia, are still grounded at the Banjul International Airport since the change of government. The company officials on Monday visited the airport to assess the condition of the aircrafts and further update Gambians on how they were involved in buying the said planes. Responding to initial reports that the aircrafts were bought by Momodou Dabo, the official says planes were purchased by Sankajula Holdings company from the Gambia government at a cost of $500,000 after being approached by personnel from the Ministry of Finance to intervene to enable the aircrafts remain in the country and avoid being possessed by foreign buyers at a lesser price. Mr. Kabirog Dabo of Sankajula Holdings explains the process leading to the possession of the aircrafts.
It's the government that sold this flight to us, and we bought it directly from the Ministry of Finance for $500,000. Like I said to you guys at the airport, we did not know much about the bidding of these flights until we had personnel from the Ministry of Finance contacting us directly to say there are people coming from overseas who are trying to buy these flights for a very cheap amount, and that wouldn't be fair to the government of the Gambia and to the people of the Gambia. So they actually begged us to intervene and try and see if we can rescue the Gambia from that cheap sale of the flights. So we had a meeting at Sankajula Holdings, and we agreed that we're going to double the amount the South Africans or the Sudanese people, I'm not 100% sure, but it's either South Africans or the Sudanese who bidded for $200,000, and they were going to be approved. It was just amount of days that they were going to be approved and the flights were going to go. So we bidded double that amount. We bidded 500,000, and that's how we got the flights from the Ministry of Finance. So these flights were actually bought by Sankajula Holdings from the Ministry of Finance and not from any commission or from any person.
Another official of the company, Amadou Gov'T, further clarifies the purpose of buying the aircraft, saying their involvement was never meant to make any profit, but instead to support the Gambian government who requested Dabo's intervention through his company.
Mr. Dabo has solely purchased this aircraft, like I said, just to make sure that our resources are not looted. And then concerning the money that he bought it whatsoever, since he bought this, in fact, he has forgotten about them, because he did not purchase them to go and enrich himself, but he did purposely to make sure that Gambian resources remain in the Gambia. Imagine somebody who bought an aircraft for over 10 years now and you still forget about it. You don't even talk about it, nobody discusses it with you and so on. Even though there is pressure on him for outsiders, and those two babs that he had already mentioned in his interview wanted to come and then just to purchase this aircraft, but he's still insisting. Understand? So we have seen, unlike other people who have bought properties of Jammeh as allegedly revealed by the media, we are either putting those in use personally or they have resold them or so on and so forth. But unlike Momodou Dabo, he bought these aircrafts and they are still here. So what are we trying to say? He is a patriotic citizen. He is there to help Gambians and Gambian citizens and nothing else.
Meanwhile, when asked what is the next move for these aircrafts that are still grounded at the airport, considering their dilapidated condition, Mr. Dabo of Sankajula Holdings have this to say.
Any next move for the flights? We just bought them because a foreign investors came and they were buying these flights in a very low cost, and the low cost signifies other things also. I don't want to go into details, but the reason why they were about to sell them, at that low price was because maybe there are few people that were going to benefit from that.
The Gambia government on Saturday published the list of the sole assets of the country's former president Yahya Jammeh following several days of protests as the youths were out on the streets demanding for the list and accountability in the whole process. As more reactions continue to emerge on the sales of the forfeited assets, including these aircrafts, the National Assembly is also set to convene an extraordinary session to conduct an inquiry into the disposal of the former president's properties. However, this latest update from officials of Sankajula Holdings Company is expected to address concerns on how the government aircrafts were possessed. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Amadou Kante.